Yeah. Well, kind of. It's. I mean, on the verses of the song "Let the Bad Times Roll," we're talking about all the horror and shit we're seeing happening in the world, and then the chorus is kind of like, yeah, what are you gonna do? You gotta let those bad times roll. Might as well roll with it. We have a tendency, and I don't know how. It's not always by design. We do want to talk about what's happening in the world, but at the same time, we're hopeful ourselves, so we want to kind of provide some kind of hope and express that hope, in the face of adversity. So that's kind of why we have this upbeat sounding chorus, even in a pretty much dark song. And we've done that before. It's something that we kind of keep coming back to, and I think it's just our way of expressing both, our commiseration with the world and then our hope for a better future. Well, we decided to, make the pandemic kind of you know, the video shows four. Well, it's us doing a performance thing, and then it shows four different people kind of alienated in today's world, and during the pandemic, for sure. I mean, the pandemic features pretty prominently. And while we wanted to kind of address the frightening aspects and the loneliness and the alienation and how terrible that all feels, we also wanted to have like I said, a kind of a sense of humor about it, and make people feel like, okay, it's lonely and it's shit, but we're going to get through this. And at the very end, they're all on Zoom, talking about how fucked up their lives have been, subsequently. So, yeah. So we wanted the video to be dark and express that, but also upbeat and hopeful. Yeah, well, some of the songs, a song like "Coming for You," which I think still is, I mean, it means as much today as it did 5 years ago when we released that. So that's like one of the older ones. The music, some of the music, anyways, for "Let the Bad Times Roll" was written a while ago, but the lyrics and the song really kind of came together in the last year or two. Certainly a song like "This Is Not Utopia," that's a newer song that was written in the last couple of years. The song "Chop," same. "We Never Have Sex Anymore" is one of the older ones. And then the "Opioid Diaries" is a song that we've actually been playing live for a couple of years now. Although that's kind of changed quite a bit, So all these songs, well, like about half of the record, I guess, is a little bit older from the first half of the last 9 years, but half of it is probably from the last 2 or 3 years, really. The one that most describes, I guess, what this record would be like would be the single "Let the Bad Times Roll," because it's got some really dark, heavy stuff, and then also some upbeat, choruses. I guess the horn song "We Never Have Sex Anymore" is going to be the one song that's kind of out of left field. We have one on every record where we take a different musical style and try to give it, apply to it everything that's good about what we do. So I guess I would have to say that one's the one that's the most kind of comes at you from out of left field. Yeah. Yeah, it's different because he's hearing everything a little bit, he's hearing what we're hearing, although to do different speakers, but similar speakers. I mean, Bob helped us set up our studio. So like he'll be on the big screen back there and he's got a similar one in his studio and he's listening. But yeah, like I said, it will be a little different coming through his board than coming through ours, but we set it up, as close as we could. And fortunately that was just, we were pretty much done with the record and when everything shut down and we wanted to release it pretty quickly. And we thought, well, crap, we don't want to go out and tour, or not tour. We want to put out a record and not be able to tour on it. So let's take a look at what we got. Let's make sure everything's locked down. And we did work on it a little bit, a lot of mixing, a little tweak here and there. I mean, Dexter could actually record a line or two here and then send it to Bob, and Bob could actually mix it in, and so we would just tweak a couple things like that here and there, but the record's, the majority of it was done when the pandemic hit. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Pete did all his drums remotely from his studio in Nashville for that. Yeah. Dexter and I came in and we did like all the guitar tracks here and then sent it to Pete and then had Pete lay down the drums. And then we had, I don't know, did Bob mix that? I'm not sure if Bob mixed that or not. I think he did. Um, yeah, I know he's I can't imagine not working with Bob. So, but I know he wasn't in the studio. So yeah, yeah. Sure. I mean, that was a blast. So yeah, whatever strikes us, right now we're, because we can't tour, we're looking at how do we do videos that are fun and musical and kind of present the band in ways that makes people want to see and hear more of us. We have faces for radio, so that's my opinion anyways. Yeah, but we'd want to make it a real spectacle. I don't want it to, we wouldn't want to do something that just comes across as some guys playing on YouTube. There's some of these that are done really well, and some of these that are just not so interesting to watch. So especially if you're going to charge people, for a live stream, you want to make sure it's really done well. So yeah, we're discussing all of that. We're also very hopeful that with the advent of the vaccines and getting the vaccines out to everybody, that the virus is going to slow to a point where we can start gathering again in groups and fingers crossed, we're going to be coming your way, hopefully by before the end of the year. Yeah, I know. We talked about the drive-in concerts. We've seen that online, and would you have like a smash up derby in the middle, like everyone driving their cars in a circle, just running into each other? I thought that would be kind of fun, but great. Dankeschön. I took German in high school. Uh, yeah, my last name is Wasserman, and so I was always just kind of curious about that, and so I took German in high school. Yeah, it's better when I get drunk. After a few beers, my German does get much better. It all comes back.